She just said the national championship game. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live.
How dumb can you be to think Caitlin Clark is famous because of Angel Reese? Well, Joy Taylor is proving just that. That's right, Clark fans have set their sights on Taylor for her seriously wild claims about Caitlin Clark. Stay tuned till the end, folks, because this one is going to be entertaining.
With all that being said, this story right here kind of is mind-boggling to me in a sense because it's just crazy.
The old clip we all saw was from Joy Taylor, in which she smugly declares, "We were not talking about Clark," before Angel Reese walked in and pointed to her ring hold-up. What did Joy Taylor miss? The part where Caitlin Clark was literally rewriting basketball history? Maybe she was too busy sipping the haterade to notice Clark's record-shattering rookie season.
The dumbest things Joy Taylor has ever said. One of the actual dumbest things Joy Taylor has ever said.
This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment. What?
According to Joy, Caitlin only entered the public consciousness because of Angel Reese pointing to her finger right, because a 5-second gesture is more impactful than, say, breaking 62 records in a single season.
Joy Taylor basically saying that no one knew who Caitlin Clark was before Angel Reese did the whole hand thing. And I find that to be completely rhetorical, bro. We got to go down the comments. One comment said, imagine doing what Joy Taylor did just to push lies about Caitlin Clark. Sad!
Clark fans didn't waste any time tearing this narrative to pieces. Social media erupted with receipts, clip stats, and memes galore. People weren't afraid to go all in on Joy Taylor, ripping her into pieces. Everyone was talking about Caitlin Clark before then. Joy must have been busy to not see that. That's right, Caitlin's fans were on to Joy Taylor, and let's just say that the responses from the fans were fiery hot. No one watched the WNBA because of Reese. LOL, we all watched because of Clark. She is the reason why the WNBA thrived this year. I watch sports, and I have never ever watched one show with Joy Taylor on it. I do not understand why any real sports fan would. She must have been the only one who wasn't talking about Caitlin Clark before then. Couldn't agree more, and honestly, these fans are not wrong. Caitlin Clark was already a household name, a generational talent, and the face of women's basketball. Angel Reese, she's been riding the waves of their SoCal rivalry since their NCAA days. One fan even posted a Google search result comparing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese before their NCAA matchup. Did you notice the last popularity graph peaking way beyond the other one? Well, that was Clark's search on Google over Angel Reese. This is both hilarious and baffling at the same time because Joy Taylor's reputation was completely destroyed by Clark's fans. Not only that, Joy is also embroiled in a huge lawsuit controversy as well.
Now, Joy Taylor's in a heat lawsuit right now with the former hairstylist of FS1 and some serious accusations of her with the peanut butter, with the guys.
Simply put, Joy Taylor is going to pay a huge price for being a Clark hater, but she's not the only news anchor in the block hating on Caitlin Clark. Remember Monica McNutt? She too was giving some pretty wild takes on Clark's rise to fame.
Caitlin's debut, since she has made her debut, there's been a large and loud clamor or push, yes, that is Caitlin versus the W. The prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take.
Monica was loudly proclaiming that Clark wasn't being targeted at all within the WNBA, and that people's praise about Caitlin Clark was highly disrespectful to the quote-unquote black athletes who paved the way for the WNBA. Can you believe this? Not only that, she went on to disrespect analysts like Stephen E. Smith, who were openly praising Clark.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we gotta go. You guys.
So did you
know
say
you're my
shows?
guy, but
who does more than
Stephen,
us?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power.
Correct, Monica did not even spare the analysts who were appreciative of Clark and how uplifting the WNBA. You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now called she's on First Take a lot. Now I have sat back for years and taken a lot of from people, some who don't know what the hell they are talking about, some who act like they don't know just because they want to get at me. I could care less about people getting at me. I just want you to be accurate, Stephen. Eighth also responded in his fiery tone. slamming Monica on her wrong accusations about himself, as well as Caitlin Clark, PN, Fox News, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith says sue WNBA players jealous of Caitlin Clark, suggests race as a part of it. You're damn right, some people got a problem with a white girl who's been labbed a savior. I'm speechless because I didn't want to go nuclear on a wonderful, wonderful woman like Monica McNutt. And how can we forget Sheila Johnson, the owner of WNBA's Washington Mystics, for her anti-Caitlin Clark rant? Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have? Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings. And so now you're starting to hear stories of racism. Did you hear that Sheila Johnson is apparently upset because Clark was named the athlete of the year and not the whole of the WNBA? Can you believe this nonsense? Honestly, this anti-Clark rhetoric is getting totally out of pocket now. You're not putting the entire WNBA on the cover cause not everybody can fit and nobody knows who any of those people are. By the way, 31% apparently of the entire Washington Mystics ticket sales this year came in 2 games. I will give new AAS as to which player was featured in those 2 games. Ben Shapiro was quick to dismantle Johnson's argument, and he clearly stated that 31% of Washington Mystics' yearly income has come from playing Caitlin Clark and her team, so are just supposed to ignore that Caitlin Clark is revitalizing an entire league struggling for relevancy. I thought what Wizards owner Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark came off as racist. Sheila Johnson is the black billionaire owner of the NHL's Washington Capitals, the NBA's Washington Wizards, and the WNBA's Washington Mystics. Johnson said she did not agree with Time magazine making Caitlin Clark the first ever WNBA player to be Athlete of the Year. Sheila's suggestion that Clark's success is somehow...
I thought what Wizards owner Sheila Johnson said about Caitlin Clark came off as racist. Sheila Johnson is the black billionaire owner of the NHL's Washington Capitals, the NBA's Washington Wizards, and the WNBA's Washington Mystics. Johnson said she did not agree with Time magazine making Caitlin Clark the first ever WNBA player to be Athlete of the Year.
Sheila's suggestion that Clark's success is somehow unfair to the rest of the league clearly reeks of racism on her part.
And with putting Caitlin Clark on the cover. Johnson said the entire WNBA should have been chosen as the League of the Year and that numerous stars should have been put on the cover. She said the WNBA has a long legacy of black stars and that, and I quote, something clicked with the WNBA last year because of the draft. It's not just Caitlin Clark, it's Reese, as in, of course, Chicago.
Unfair to the rest of the league clearly reeks of racism on her part, and with putting Caitlin Clark on the cover, Johnson said the entire WNBA should have been chosen as the League of the Year and that numerous stars should have been put on the cover. She said the WNBA has a long legacy of black stars and that, and I quote, something clicked with the WNBA last year because of the draft. It's not just Caitlin Clark, it's Reese, and of course Chicago's Angel Reese. Are you kidding me? Angel Reese isn't anywhere near Caitlin Clark both in terms of skills and popularity. Then why is Sheila so keen watering down Clark's success? Well, that skinny white girl was the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She's already the most exciting and entertaining player in the league, the entire league, the one you can't take your eyes off of. The league didn't see a surge in viewership because fans were dying to watch all WNBA players. They tuned in for the Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's talent speaks for itself. She didn't ask to be named Athlete of the Year or any other accolade. She earned it instead of nitpicking her accolades or dragging her down the league, and people like